A weapon most Americans have never even heard of just tore through some of the most heavily fortified missile bunkers in the entire Middle East. And it did it with a level of precision that's rewriting how modern warfare against hardened targets actually works. This is the GBU-72, America's newest deep penetrator bomb, and it just proved exactly why the Pentagon spent years quietly developing it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what makes this weapon so devastating, why only 2 aircraft in the entire American arsenal are even cleared to carry it, and how it fits into a much bigger, more terrifying pattern of bunker-busting firepower that's been unleashed on Iran throughout this entire war. Let's start with exactly what happened, because the announcement itself came directly from U.S. Central Command, and the language they used was remarkably specific. CENTCOM posted directly on social media, stating, and I'm going to give you this almost word for word because the precision of the language matters here. Hours ago, U.S. forces successfully employed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. They went on to explain exactly why these targets mattered so much, stating that the Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles stored inside these sites posed a direct risk to international shipping passing through the strait. Think about the strategic logic here. This wasn't a random target selected for symbolic value. These were specific, hardened bunkers housing weapons capable of sinking commercial tankers and military vessels alike, sitting directly along one of the most critical shipping choke points on the entire planet. Now let's talk about the weapon itself, because understanding what makes the GBU-72 so effective is really the heart of this entire story. Officially designated the GBU-72/B, this bunker buster combines something called the BLU-138/B, Advanced 5,000-pound penetrator warhead, with a KMU-556 JDM tail kit assembly, giving it combined GPS and inertial navigation guidance for extremely precise targeting even against deeply buried objectives. This weapon was specifically engineered with what military planners describe as enhanced survivability, increased lethality, and smart fusing technology, all optimized specifically for punching through hardened and buried target sets. Things like underground tunnels and reinforced concrete bunkers that older generation weapons simply weren't built to handle effectively. In fact, this weapon is slated to eventually replace the older GBU-28 bomb entirely, representing a genuine generational upgrade in America's ability to reach and destroy targets buried deep underground. Here's a detail that really puts the sophistication of this weapon into perspective. Only 2 aircraft in the entire United States military arsenal are actually cleared to carry and deploy the GBU-72, the B-1B Lancer, and the F-15E Strike Eagle. Think about what that exclusivity actually tells you. This isn't some mass-produced, widely distributed weapon system. This is a specialized, carefully controlled munition, reserved specifically for platforms capable of delivering it with the precision and reliability its mission demands. The development timeline itself reflects that same level of careful engineering. The Air Force began developing this weapon back in 2017, and it wasn't cleared for actual operational combat use until October of 2021. Nearly 4 years of rigorous testing and refinement before it was ever considered ready for the battlefield. Let's dig into the specific strike that CENTCOM confirmed, because the operational details reveal just how deliberately this was planned. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane personally confirmed the details during a Pentagon briefing alongside Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, stating that the U.S. military had dropped these 5,000-pound penetrator weapons directly into underground storage facilities. These weren't just any storage facilities either. They specifically housed coastal defense cruise missiles and related support equipment. Exactly the kind of weapons Iran had positioned along its coastline, with the clear intention of threatening tanker traffic and military vessels moving through the strait. General Kane's confirmation, delivered directly at an official Pentagon briefing, adds significant weight and credibility to CENTCOM's original announcement. This wasn't some vague, unconfirmed claim. This was validated at the highest levels of American military leadership. Now here's where the story gets even more interesting, because this GBU-72 strike doesn't exist in isolation. It's actually part of a much larger, more staggering pattern of bunker-busting firepower that's defined this entire conflict from its earliest days. Most people don't realize this, but the very first major combat use of America's absolute largest bunker-buster bomb actually happened before this current war even began. Back on June 22nd, 2025, 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers dropped 14 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator bombs on Iran's nuclear facilities in an operation called Midnight Hammer, marking the first ever combat use of that specific weapon system. To put the scale of that weapon into perspective, the GBU-57 weighs an almost unbelievable 30,000 pounds, roughly 6 times heavier than the GBU-72 we've been discussing. It measures over 20 feet long And due to its massive size, only the B-2 stealth bomber is even capable of carrying and deploying it, with each B-2 limited to carrying just 2 of these enormous weapons at a time. Then, less than 9 months later, on February 28, 2026, the same day this entire war officially began, history repeated itself on an even larger scale. The United States launched Operation Epic Fury, once again deploying B-2 Spirit stealth bombers carrying GBU-57 bunker busters, this time as part of a massive coordinated assault involving more than 500 combat sorties, 4 full carrier strike groups, and 14 guided missile destroyers, all operating simultaneously. According to reporting from the Wall Street Journal, this campaign specifically included B-2 bombers striking an underground Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps command bunker in Tehran using these same 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrators, a devastating demonstration of America's ability to reach and destroy even the most heavily fortified underground command centers in the heart of Iran's capital. So when you connect these dots together, what you're really looking at is a coordinated, escalating campaign using 2 distinctly different classes of bunker-busting weapons, the massive 30,000-pound GBU-57, reserved for the absolute highest value, most deeply buried targets like nuclear facilities and underground command bunkers, and the more tactically flexible 5,000-pound GBU-72, used specifically against hardened missile storage sites and coastal defense positions, like the ones destroyed in this most recent strike near the Strait of Hormuz. And the results of this broader bunker-busting campaign, when you step back and look at the totality of what's been accomplished, are genuinely staggering. Throughout this operation, American forces have destroyed more than 100 Iranian naval vessels and 16 mine layers positioned near the strait. More than 6,000 combat flights have been conducted, establishing what military officials describe as total U.S. air superiority across the region. Precision strikes on Karg Island, Iran's primary oil export hub, specifically wiped out naval mine storage facilities and missile bunkers there, while deliberately sparing the civilian oil infrastructure surrounding those military targets, a notable distinction in how these strikes were planned and executed. There's still one major obstacle that even these powerful bunker busters can't fully solve on their own, though, and it's worth mentioning because it shows this campaign isn't operating in a vacuum. Despite all this firepower and precision, Iran is believed to have laced significant portions of the strait with naval mines, a threat that even America's most powerful warships can't easily clear without taking on considerable risk. That's exactly where Allied support has stepped in, with Britain deploying specialized mine-hunting drone technology, including an autonomous surface vessel called the RNMB Ariadne, capable of clearing mines roughly 4 times faster than legacy methods, all while keeping British sailors safely out of what naval planners call the kill zone. France has offered similar mine-hunting drone support as well, showing this isn't just an American operation, but a coordinated Allied effort combining devastating American air power with specialized Allied technology to fully reopen this critical waterway. So when you put the complete picture together, a brand new, highly specialized 5,000-pound bunker buster specifically engineered for hardened missile sites, deployed by only 2 aircraft in the entire American arsenal, working alongside history's most powerful conventional bunker buster reserved for Iran's deepest nuclear and command facilities, combined with Allied mine-clearing technology and total air superiority established through thousands of combat sorties, you start to understand the sheer scale and sophistication of the military campaign that's been unleashed throughout this war. This isn't simply about dropping bigger bombs. This is about a carefully layered, deliberately engineered approach to systematically dismantling Iran's ability to threaten global shipping and defend its most critical underground infrastructure, one precisely matched weapon system at a time. What do you think this level of bunker-busting firepower actually means for how the rest of this conflict unfolds? Does having weapons capable of reaching literally any underground target Iran can build give the United States a decisive and lasting advantage? Or does Iran's continued resistance, despite all this firepower, suggest that no weapon, no matter how advanced, can fully guarantee victory in a war like this? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and stay close, because with weapons this sophisticated, now confirmed in active combat use, the next chapter of this bunker-busting campaign could reveal even more about exactly what America's arsenal is truly capable of.